Imagine a world where almost all the materials needed for your smartphones, electric cars, wind turbines, and even advanced missiles come from just one country. That's the reality with rare earth elements, a group of 17 metals that are tiny in quantity but massive in importance. And right now, China controls about 90% of the world's refining and separation of these critical elements, especially the heavy ones that are key for high-tech and military applications. This control gives China enormous influence over global industries. Companies from the United States, Europe, and Asia depend on these materials for everything from electric vehicle motors to fighter jet components. But over the past year, Beijing has tightened the rules on who can buy these rare earths and how they can be used. The stakes are high. Countries trying to bypass these restrictions risk angering China and getting cut off from a supply chain they can't easily replace. And this isn't just about economics, it's about global power. Rare earths have become a strategic tool, a quiet but critical lever in international relations. As we'll see, even attempts to play by the rules can get complicated when ambition, profit, and defense interests collide. To understand why the rare earth market is so tense, we need to look at China's recent moves to tighten control. Over the past year, Beijing has been systematically restricting exports of medium and heavy rare earths, the types most essential for advanced tech and military applications. So, how did China uncover this intricate web of rare earth shipments? Well, the answer lies in technology and meticulous monitoring. In April 2025, China upgraded its export control measures, requiring all importing companies to submit proof of end use every 3 months. Companies had to provide production orders, shipment records, and customer information. Everything had to match the original declaration. Sona CommStar couldn't provide evidence of civilian production. But beyond paperwork, China's rare earth tracking system made deception almost impossible. The system has 2 core capabilities. First, full-chain traceability. Every batch of rare earth is given a unique RFID tag at the mining site. This tag records its origin, mining time, and ore grade. During refining, processing, and transportation, the tag is updated with quality checks, processing details, and GPS-tracked shipping routes. This allows authorities to reconstruct the entire life cycle of the material, even if it's transferred multiple times or repackaged. Second, isotope fingerprinting. Rare earth elements have stable isotopes unique to their geological origin, almost like a chemical DNA. Even if the shipment is relabeled or exported via other countries, China can analyze samples and trace them back to the original mine. Thanks to these technologies, the authorities could reconstruct the full journey of the 120 tons, proving that a significant portion went into military programs and international defense contracts. Once China traced the rare earths, the consequences were swift and severe. Beijing immediately halted all rare earth exports to the Indian companies involved and placed them on a rare earth trade blacklist. This not only affected Sona CommStar but also sent a strong warning to any company attempting to bypass Chinese regulations. The incident also sparked geopolitical tension. India publicly accused China of weaponizing rare earths, highlighting the sensitive nature of these materials in global supply chains. Meanwhile, China emphasized that export decisions are a matter of sovereign rights, reminding the world that control over critical resources is part of national security. For the global market, this event exposed how fragile and interconnected rare earth supply chains are. Even a single misstep or misdeclaration can ripple across industries, impacting electric vehicles, electronics, and defense systems worldwide. Countries now realize that access to these elements is not just an economic matter, it's a strategic asset that can shape international relations and influence military capabilities. This story isn't just about one company or one shipment, it's a window into how critical resources shape global power. Rare earths aren't just metals, they're the backbone of modern technology. From electric vehicles to precision-guided missiles, whoever controls them has leverage in both industry and defense. At the BRICS summit in July 2025, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi highlighted the importance of secure supply chains for critical minerals and high-tech industries. While he didn't name China, his message was clear. no country should weaponize essential resources. Yet the reality is that countries with rare earth dominance like China can set the rules, control access, and even monitor end use. For countries like India, and companies operating internationally, the lesson is stark: access to high-tech materials is not guaranteed. Dependence on a single supplier, especially one with advanced tracking and regulatory capabilities, can have strategic consequences. The Sona CommStar incident shows how high-tech monitoring, export control, and geopolitical leverage combine to make rare earths not just an economic commodity, but a tool of global influence. In the end, the story of Sona CommStar and the 120 tons of rare earths shows just how much power is tied to these tiny, yet indispensable metals. China's dominance, combined with advanced tracking systems and strict export rules, made it almost impossible to hide the real flow of materials, even when shipments crossed oceans and changed hands multiple times. This incident highlights a few clear truths. Control over rare earths equals control over modern technology. Even sophisticated companies can face consequences if they try to bypass regulations, and geopolitics and industry are now inseparable in the global high-tech landscape. As the world races to secure critical minerals, events like this are a reminder that every shipment, every declaration, and every supply chain decision matters. China's actions and Sona CommStar's choices offer a real-world lesson in strategy, transparency, and global power dynamics. If you want to stay informed about the most important developments in technology, industry, and geopolitics, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. We'll continue breaking down stories like this, uncovering the forces shaping the world behind the headlines.